You might be.
To provide access to experimental drugs before they are approved by the FDA.
What do we want? Protease. When do we want it? Now.
It's called compassionate use distribution. Even before the research is completed, the pharmaceutical companies agree to give some drug for free to the sickest patients. But many hard questions remain. Is the drug safe enough? And how much to spare?
The risk is that, number one, that we don't know enough about the safety and efficacy of the drug, and that it'll be unsafe and will not work.
Dr. Edward Skolnick is the president of Merck Laboratories, which developed the protease inhibitor Crixivan. After much debate, Merck decided to give Crixivan to some very sick patients.
People were desperate to get something. It took us a few months to try to figure out whether we could actually produce enough drug to do this. And we had a little bit more data in that period of time, which reassured us a bit that the risks were worth taking.
But how to decide who would get it? The company decided on a lottery to distribute Crixivan to 1,100 patients. 11,000 applied. David Wagner was one of them.
I tried everything else, so this was my last hope.
Rich Almanza applied too.
It'll be sad not to get it, but it's not going to be the end of the world.
And so did Morris Gillis.
If this drug can bring my T-cell count up, that would be the greatest thing for me right now, because, like I said, my T-cell is 4.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you by American Honda.
Will that be paper or plastic? Sir? Sir? Paper? Plastic?
Well, at least you know how to get the groceries home. The always dependable Accord from Honda. Possibly the world's easiest decision.
In August, Publishers Clearinghouse surprised one winner.
$1 billion!
Starting September 21st, they'll wake up 30 winners in 30 days with prizes up to $100,000.
You've got to be kidding.
Enter and you could wake up a winner.
Chances are it will outlast your car and your furnace and your roof. There's no telling what your Moen faucet might outlast. Moen. Buy it for looks. Buy it for life.
Waiting for the ultimate chicken finger food? Try new Colonel's Crispy Strips from KFC. Juicy, all-white meat chicken, freshly prepared with our special extra tasty crispy recipe. New Colonel's Crispy Strips are good enough to be a meal, so eat them with a knife and fork, if you can wait that long.
Everybody needs a little KFC.
And for a mealtime treat, bring home 3 Colonel's Crispy Strips, mashed potatoes and gravy, coleslaw and a biscuit, all for just $2.99.
Have you heard about the big sale at Sears Brand Central?
I'm one step ahead of you.
Now through Saturday, you'll save on all refrigerators, ranges, washers, and dryers.
I'm pretty selective.
Choose from great brands like GE, Whirlpool, and Kenmore.
Then again, I like those names.
Plus, all computers and electronics are on sale. Every camcorder, TV, VCR.
Wow, bring on the popcorn.
You don't want to miss this one, so get your Sears card ready and get to Sears Brand Central by Saturday.
Hey, if it's all on sale, I'm already there.
As the disease has gotten stronger and claimed more and more lives, so too has the community surrounding people with AIDS. Perhaps unique among diseases, AIDS has spawned a full-fledged political movement whose members are not only angry, but organized. From the start, activists have focused their attention on the people who make and approve drugs.
Well, if you wait around on it to be legal, you're dead. You really have to lunge aggressively for any treatment that you can find out there.
In Atlanta, Tom Blunt is part of a network of activists around the country who make it their mission to keep track of the new research on AIDS. He got to know the leading scientists in his area.
I was aware of the first trials on the Merck protease drug, and I was aware of what was unique.
In February 1994, Tom read a newspaper article suggesting Merck's protease trials had failed.
I was afraid that they'd cut their losses and get out of the AIDS business. I don't think we've ever contemplated giving up in our AIDS effort. We've been discouraged at many steps of the project. On the other hand, the group was really quite committed to try to do something important. And its technical competence is very high, and we just were not going to give up.
Tom Blunt may have been wrong about Merck's commitment, but he was still suspicious. When he learned that Merck was testing a better, safer version of the protease inhibitor, he demanded answers.
I knew they had to go through the clinical trial system, and they had to go through the system to get it approved, but I wanted them to get this drug out now. And the answer I got back was that there's not enough drug, there's not much drug, and I didn't believe them.
There's a man by the name of Tom Blount who actually said, I really don't think this is an issue. I think you should be able to make it. I want to come in and see it. And I said, generally, Tom, oh yeah, come on. You come in, you look, we'll show you what we're doing because we're telling you the truth.
Merck allowed Blunt and a few other activists to meet Dr. Paul Ryder, the head of their manufacturing process.
They didn't want to take no for an answer. They didn't want to hear that it was going to take 3 or 4 months.
Then Merck made an unusual concession. They allowed the activists to bring in their own consultant to evaluate whether Merck could produce more of the new drug.
They made us sign secrecy agreements, and they laid everything out. And that's unique. And that's when I started trusting Merck.
But then came another dispute, this time over whether to make some of the drug available to the very sick, a so-called compassionate use program. Merck was adamant. With all the technical and regulatory hurdles ahead, they could not. In an emotional meeting last January, Blunt demanded to know how many people could be given the drug immediately.
And I did something I never quite sure why. I said, maybe 400 or 500 people, tops.
I was really upset, and I just said, Paul, that is a fully loaded 747, and you're going to let it crash, and you have the ability to keep it in the air. And walked out of the room. I was really so angry, I was crying. And then I called him the next morning, and he told me that they hadn't slept, that the whole crew had not slept overnight, and that they were going to get this done.
And what it did is it focused our clarity and our way of thinking. Everybody became a little bit more creative and started thinking, gee, this is human life we're talking about.
But how to decide who should get it? Eventually, Merck decided a lottery of patients with low T-cell counts was the only fair way to distribute this scarce resource. But it's a decision that remains controversial. At least one AIDS activist calls it obscene.
You're a mother. You've got a kid who's dying, a baby who's dying from AIDS, and you know there's a drug out there, but you can't get it. You can't get it because of bureaucracy. You can't get it because of some stupid lottery. How dare somebody say, oh, you can go in a lottery and you may get it or you may not get it? How dare anyone have the gall to decide like that, who can live and who can die?
Merck, along with the other drug companies, says that is unfair. They are working as fast as they can to help more people like Dawn. After 6 months on Crixivan, she has had remarkable results.
In Atlanta, everywhere you go, they're getting geared up for the Olympics. And I remember 4 years ago when we got the Olympics, and everybody started talking about, in 1996 when we come to Atlanta, and I just kept thinking, oh, God, I hope I'm here when the Olympics come. Well, now I know I will be here when the Olympics get here, unless I get hit by one of these construction vehicles on their way through town. But.
And what about the others? Morris Gillis in Washington has yet to hear from Merck.
I'm hopeful. I'm just being hopeful and hoping that I will hear. I mean, it's been a long wait, but I'm hoping it's worth the wait.
Rich Almanza found out late last month.
I called the 800 number, and the person on the other end looked up my number that they'd given me and let me know that I was on the waiting list. And I didn't quite understand what that meant, so she said, waiting list means you did not get picked for the lottery. It's crazy. It's insane. It's the strangest thing in the world. I mean, I guess our parents go through it when they are waiting to get into a senior citizen's home. And I guess that's how that happens. There's a limited number of beds, people die, they move in. But at 38 years old, I don't believe I should be having to be thinking about this.
David Wagner, who had been in the hospital with a number of AIDS-related ailments, heard too.
My kind of last hope was the lottery, and there wasn't a great chance to get into the lottery because there were a lot of people trying. But they called me in the hospital and said I got in the lottery, and that was real exciting. I got a letter since then confirming that.
But the victory was bittersweet.
So I thought, real excited, if I could get the drug now, it could make a real big difference. But I asked on the phone when they expect the drug to be available, and they said by the end of the year. And I don't know whether I have that much time.
This is Michelle McQueen for Nightline.
When we return, we'll be joined by the Commissioner of the Food and Drug Administration, Dr. David Kessler.
Every time you make a long-distance call, AT&T sends out a signal to check the quality of the line, automatically routing around trouble before you've even finished dialing. Because in business, it all comes back to getting your calls through. Guaranteed network reliability at a competitive price.
Linda, I'd like to bounce an idea off.
Only from AT&T for the life of your business.
Behr Premium Plus interior paint is made with pure titanium dioxide for cleaner, brighter whites and exceptionally vivid colors. And at the Home Depot, our paint pros will gladly match Behr Premium Plus with anything, except, of course, a premium price. Behr Premium Plus, exclusively from the Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
Get ready for a Wild West shootout when the UCLA Bruins battle the BYU Cougars. It's game 2 of a doubleheader at a special time Saturday on ABC's College Football.
15-hour sale, our biggest of the season. One day only, store-wide. Early birds at 8 a.m. 15-hour sale at Meyer & Frank.
Sunday on Town Hall.
So I now announce that I will resign from the Senate, and I leave this institution not with malice, but with love.
Senator Bob Packwood resigns from the U.S. Senate, but this isn't the end of the Packwood story. What's next for the senator and for Oregon? Join accusers and defenders in a history-making town hall discussion. A senator steps down Sunday at 6 on Spirit 2.
When breaking news happens, more people turn to Channel 2 News. First on the scene to bring you pictures from the Labor Day accident at Multnomah Falls.
Rocks and water were just flying everywhere, and this is panic.
When the big story breaks and it's important to you, trust Channel 2 News to be there first in the spirit of the Northwest.
The state of Oregon has an innovative, successful program to help workers and employers. The Preferred Worker Program provides financial incentives to businesses that hire workers who have had on-the-job injuries.
They're paying half of their wages for 6 months. They will modify a work site for this person. You can't lose.
The program covers wages, workers' compensation, and more to get Oregon's injured workers back on the job. Call the Preferred Worker Program, 1-800-445-3948.
Joining me now is Dr. David Kessler, the Commissioner of the Food and Drug Administration. Dr. Kessler, how excited should we get about this new family of drugs, these protease inhibitors?
I don't want to overpromise, but these are the most potent drugs we've seen against the virus. They really do stop the virus from growing. The question is, how long do they work for?
Well, let me ask you about that, because one of the unique problems about the AIDS virus, as I understand it, is that it very quickly develops a resistance to new drugs. So how much hope do these drugs offer in the long run?
These drugs seem to work for at least 6 months. And there is some resistance in many patients. The answer is not going to lie in any one drug. What we really need to do is to develop combination therapies, and that's what we're studying. That's really where the real hopes are. If you look at advances in leukemia and advances in tuberculosis, answers don't come from any one drug. It's finding the right combination so we can deal with the resistance problem.
You say we're never going to find one drug. Is there ever going to be a cure for AIDS, or given the particular nature of this disease, is a magic bullet not possible?
I don't think the answer is going to lie in one drug and one drug alone, but I think there is hope, and real hope, that we're going to find the right combinations of drugs to really slow this virus from growing.
Well, that's a distinction, though. This is not a cure for AIDS. This simply slows the growth of the disease. Is there going to be a vaccine? Is there going to be a cure?
There's real hope that by slowing the virus, we can make this into a chronic illness.
Let's talk about the lottery. Is that the best solution, or would it be possible, as with organ transplants, to somehow rate the urgency of various cases?
In fact, some of the lottery is weighted toward urgency. I'd love it if there were enough drug to treat everyone. The problem is, and the companies are working very hard, it takes a year, even more than a year, to manufacture this drug. And not only that, patients need this drug in high doses. So there just isn't enough to go around during this experimental period. I think we're months away, and only months away, of having enough drug for everyone.
But you were watching the Michelle McQueen piece with me. How do you respond to that AIDS activist who says, you know, it's disgusting that a number should determine whether or not I live or die?
It's as fair a way as I know. There's no perfect answer when you don't have enough drug and people are dying. Of course we want to make it available, but it seems as fair as any method.
I know that you are pushing for faster FDA approval of these drugs, but here you are talking tonight about how effective this drug is, how exciting it is, and even now, I know that the application has just gone for the first of these drugs to the FDA. It's still going to take 6 months.
The application for one of these companies has just come in this week. We will turn around that application as quick as ever. We're approving drugs in the matter of months these days.
But you were telling me that's 6 months, right? That's as quick as possible.
We may be able to do it even a little quicker. It used to take us several years. Now we're reviewing applications in the matter of months. We're doing it very quickly. If you look at the AIDS drugs on the market today, we've approved those drugs in months, not years.
How do you draw the balance, though, on the one hand between the activists who are saying, get them out, get these drugs out, and on the other hand, as the FDA wanting to make sure that these drugs are safe?
You want to be able to provide patients, especially patients who are dying, with access to the drugs. But you also want to have the answers. How to take this drug, when to take it, do the drugs actually work? So we're constantly balancing providing access and getting the answers.
What about one of the other questions that some of these AIDS activists raised, and that is, you know, if these companies really wanted to, they could be producing more of these drugs.
These companies, I believe, and we've pressed very, very hard, and we continue to press, I believe these companies are working enormously hard. They want to be able to provide drug.
In that sense, isn't approval essential? So when you give approval, when you give the green light, then these companies can start the production line and begin to manufacture these products in sufficient quantities.
With regard to AIDS and other life-threatening diseases, we've changed the rules. We are allowing patients to have access to drugs before even the application comes in. We've provided over 75,000 AIDS patients with access to experimental drugs even before the applications come in. And not only do we provide expanded access, we also are reviewing these applications faster than ever.
We've got a little more than 30 seconds left. I was struck in Michelle's report by this remarkable relationship between the company Merck and these AIDS activists. Is that unusual, or are you seeing that across the industry?
It used to be, a couple of years ago, the activists were scaling the walls. Today, I think a lot of people have come together to work together.
And where are we headed with all this?
This class of drugs provides real hope, and real hope for patients who are desperately sick.
Dr. Kessler, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much for the mixed message, but essentially an optimistic one that you delivered to us tonight. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot. And I'll be back in a moment.
We're out of here. No, please keep your hands in the cart. We'll come back for that later. That one needs batteries. You're gonna get Daddy in trouble. Excuse me? No, that one definitely has too many parts. We gotta go.
Right now, we're offering some of the best prices of the year on our 1995 rodeos.
It's that time of year again, Visine season.
The time for red, burning, irritated eyes. The season when your eyes need all the help they can get. The season for Visine. Of all the eye drops you can buy, Visine is the only one recommended by pharmacists 4-to-1 over any other brand. It's so effective, it gives you 100% of the relief you need. So red, irritated eyes feel 100% refreshed. Remember, it's Visine season. Better get Visine. It gets the red out.
This is about advanced communication technology, about what's happening today, how things like the virtual office and call centers can work for your business. But it's not about bits, bytes, bells, or whistles. This is about people who know how to listen and where to look, people who can help you put all the pieces together and even get you the hardware and software you need for free. This is about how simple things can be, about knowing who, about knowing how. Network MCI, that's how.
Coming soon from Spirit 2 Productions.
Outstanding. I just loved it. That was great. I really enjoyed it. Era bellissimo.
Jim Bosley and Mary Starrett in AM Northwest.
They're the perfect couple.
It was hilarious.
No, I'm just sitting here. I'm just holding hands with Fabio.
I just can't wait to see more.
And you can. Weekdays at 9 only on KATU Spirit 2. AM Northwest. Rated GE for great entertainment.
I'm telling all my friends to watch.
When KATU Spirit 2 and Kaiser Permanente got together with hundreds of other volunteers for the Day of Caring, great things happened for the needy in our community.
I'm Steve Dunn. By helping real people, we discovered how United Way can change people's lives every single day.
Help us turn the Day of Caring into a year of giving. Share the spirit of helping others. Give to the United Way.
Izzy's, Kaiser Permanente, and KATU Spirit 2, committed to making a difference in our community.
Sunday on This Week with David Brinkley, an update on the O.J. Simpson trial and the fallout over Senator Bob Packwood's resignation. That's Sunday on this ABC station. And that's our report for tonight. I'm Chris Wallace in Washington. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
For information about Nightline on America Online, call 1-800